Good morning. My name's Peter Brumley. Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for reviewing this. You guys are putting in the time and effort. You may hear a little noise in the background. I do have children, one of which doesn't go to school, so you may hear. Anyway, let's jump into this. Follow along on the PowerPoint or the PDFs. Obviously, I'll give you both when I submit. So let's talk about money. Y'all want to do a private school, kind of what I would classify as an A tier, S tier private school, and there's some real advantages I still think, particularly with being in Douglas County in Colorado. On the 2020 census, it fairly well is going to outline that, along with, not that Raleigh's not coming along though. There's big increases and they're really coming along, which is fairly obvious, as well as having some real established, older families. What I was looking at, and obviously I'm a millennial, is the jobs and the type of jobs though. And so when you look at my slide on Douglas County and that Denver Tech Center area, you're really going to see DoD companies. There's 5 of them, including Ball now. And you have some real IT companies and some real engineering companies, along with Oracle, which Raleigh also does have. But there's a plethora of them. It's not one, it's 5. Again, Raleigh's a little bit smaller city, coming along by itself and deserves to be recognized. If you all tell me it's there, let's go. But I'm not seeing the second and the third and the fourth job-wise company, that competes with Oracle. Banks and capital and everything else is here, and it's strong in DTC. The other thing most people don't understand about Denver Tech Center is it's actually larger than Denver, with more people that live around it. And so that in and of itself, it's like a second Denver, Dallas versus Fort Worth, if I'm have that correct in my head. Real similar to that. So I gave you a flex versus an office use case. This can be intertwined. This could be going into an office campus in the Denver Tech Center, or this could be going into flex in Raleigh. I wanted to give you one of each, because I think they're both good options, but they're different. So let's start with the flex case in Denver Tech Center there along Arapahoe Road. And I like this. You control your own destiny. You control the entire building. He'd likely do a gross lease, $24 per square foot, so 12 net. And, you're going to get into where you really could control your escalations, likely at 50 cents. Get into a 7 to 10 year lease. Yeah, you'll have to build it out. You'll probably have to do that anyway everywhere. And you're going to end up with an unbelievable playground and maybe even more, in that truck bed. They're going to let you do a lot. You just need to make sure that you're okay with the fire department driving through your fence. If push comes to shove and they got to get in there, they're probably not going to stop at the lockbox. They'll just go through your fence. But that's, it's minor, and hopefully it doesn't happen. We've already seen that in Colorado. We've seen that in other places where we can get that variance and get the fence up and make it a playground, and it's great. Again, I think that can be done in Raleigh. There's a whole bunch of different areas that I identified real quickly that it could be done. Let's look at the office use case and attach that to Raleigh. So you have the old Oracle campus, where you could take a half a building or a whole building, get your access control up and make sure you control it. There's one very key feature with office, and that is you will have to be on the first floor, or you're going to be in a lawsuit because you got, K through 5. They're just going to jump around and be children. They're doing what they're supposed to do, which means you're stuck on that first floor. You can't be in second floor space. You're going to be too loud, stomping around, etc. But along with that, the ideal situation where you have half or a full building, I think it works. You'll have to do a little bit of build out on bathrooms and how you're going to control that. But it can definitely be done, and I've seen it with kind of academies doing 7th and 8th, again, here in Colorado, going back into our level 3 campus. We've seen that in DTC, so it definitely can be done. I spent a little bit of time on kind of the bare minimum space requirements. But again, I think that sort of lends itself to how big and what you want to do and where you want to go with it initially for a new school and how aggressive you want to be. Um, Coming back to kind of this faculty analyzation, you can live out in Aurora. That's out east in that area. It's really been cleaned up. You can get into leases at less than $1,300, $1,200. We don't really have anything in Colorado less than $1,000 anymore. But with a roommate, it could definitely be done, where your faculty could just come straight down Arapahoe Road out there, and it's nice. It's really not, if you've been here about 5 years ago, what Aurora was. It's not the same anymore, at least not that area. The area I chose along Arapahoe Road is really easy in and out. It's about 5 minutes off I-25, and I-25 is our major artery. I mean, that's it. That's our artery in Colorado, if you're unaware. And it runs everything. You still have access to, you're pretty nearby 470 and E470 and can get around about half the city you can pull from. And I think that really works. And you'll really be into a very aggressive lease to help you get this done. Flipping to Raleigh, kind of similarly, you could go north and west, just to name one, you get into Joyland, and in Joyland I found leases that were less than $1,000, so there's some real advantages to cost of living there if you're faculty. There is an argument to be made to look at central Raleigh as well. I don't know it well enough. I definitely need a broker's help to kind of go in and identify, hey, here's a big box that pulled out. We could potentially put a school in here, type situation. And so that would be very interesting and could definitely be done. We've seen, churches along with schools go into old Walmarts in Arvada as an example. And so I know, Walmart will pull out, and Target, and there's a number of them that I don't know that are back east as well. That's always changing. So that would be something very interesting if you really want to be central Raleigh. I think could definitely be done. Otherwise, I sort of identified I-40 and the 540 there. That was really interesting with the incomes and everything else to pull for families, but still have reasonable living costs for faculty as well that could potentially make sense, and you can pick up really almost 3 highways. So without just berating you all and beating you over the head, that's just sort of what I was looking at. I'm sorry, I wasn't going to spend any time on Portland. I think that if you all really want to go to Portland, I'm just really not going to be the guy that's going to be able to help you do that. My personal opinion on that is very negative, particularly as it goes to trying to build a private school. I think that companies are leaving, or people are really working from home, and so they're really going to want that school system to be extremely close, within 10-minute drive, and just spending some time on it. It becomes tough if that's what you all want to do. The opportunity's there for the buildings, similarly to what I presented here. I'm avoiding it. I'm sorry. I'm just not seeing the path where that's going to be on a 10-year lease with a 120 square foot build out. Why, guys? Why? And I'm trying to help you here. Really, why? Why would you make that kind of investment? 1.2 million really minimum, and there's no guarantee those parents are going to be there in really even 3 years. I mean, they're pulling out now. I'd tell you the same thing if you were looking at San Francisco. So I think they're coming here. I think they're coming to Raleigh. And what I'll leave you with is the people in Colorado, and we've always had it, have a real tendency to push for higher education or better education, whether that be extracurricular or not. And everyone has their own way. With my kids, it's extracurricular. I throw them on the tennis court. But, the key is that we do it here, and we'll push for it, and we'll pay for it. And I'm assuming you guys have a track record. You have 2 schools already, and when you present that, I think there's some real advantages, particularly if you're in that commuter run or that commuter area. The people will come. And that's, we'll sort of leave it there. Appreciate your time. Again, Peter Brumley. I live right here in Douglas County. Thanks all. Bye.